An option of which film to do, Pochahontas, the story of Pocahontas, or the fall of the Soviet Union. Pocahontas it is, okay. The story of Pochahontas obviously has been retold many times in many ways. There's an interesting historical tidbit about it, which is that it concerns the first American colony, the first British colony in America in Jamestown, Virginia, which occurred about 13 years prior to the colony in Plymouth, Massachusetts. But the Thanksgiving holiday and the founding of America is usually considered to be the Massachusetts colony and the Pilgrims at Plymouth, even though that was after the Jamestown colony and the story of Pocahontas. And I read a thing on the internet that said the reason that we consider America to start in Massachusetts instead of Virginia is because the North won the Civil War. So after that point, everybody was like, oh, America started in the North. Whereas if the South had won the Civil War, then everybody would say that America started in the South, in Virginia. So that really has nothing to do with Pocahontas, but it was something interesting I read on the internet. The true story of Pocahontas has never been known yet, but one thing we know for sure is that it's when two empires met. The first of these empires was the Powhatan tribe collection. 30 groups on coastal land under one big chief's direction. Far across the ocean, England's empire and King James sought gold from New World colonies like they saw coming out of Spain. In May 1607, 100 British settlers landed, but what they called Jamestown, Virginia was really Powhatan commanded. They battled with the Powhatans and they tried Japan for gold, but they never found their riches, and soon they were starving and cold. Captain John Smith hoped the natives would trade them food for goods. He learned native words and customs, and he made maps of the woods. Without Smith's new friends, Jamestown would have died there by the water, and one of the nicest new friends was the big chief's little daughter. She was not yet 12 years old, but she often came to play and chat. Her nickname was Pochahontas, which meant happy little brat. Smith had to go back to England because his leg got burned, and battles flared up with the natives when his back was turned. The Powhatans stopped bringing food, but this war they couldn't win, because although settlers kept dying, more and more kept shipping in. As for the young girl's whereabouts, for 4 years no one knew him. Some say she'd gotten married to a warrior named Cocoon, and then in 1613 the settlers learned where she was living. They kidnapped Pocahontas to see what ransom they'd be given. But the big chief had 100 kids, he didn't need her back again. So she stayed with Jamestown settlers, learning how to live like them. They renamed her Rebecca, and they were happy to baptize her. And when she married widower John Rolfe, peace came to both empires. Rolfe made Jamestown rich at last, but it wasn't gold he found. It was a sweet tobacco that he brought to Virginia's ground. They took a trip to London to advertise the new success. This friendly native made investors fear the New World less. Captain Smith chimed in and said, this girl 9 years ago saved me from the natives. Was he lying? We don't know. This story became legendary, but it might not be true. Captain John Smith wrote the same thing about other women too. Rebecca died before her journey home could sail away, but from the son she had with Rolfe, many descendants live today. For her kindness to the settlers, many myths about her grew.